Okay, welcome to Indie Resources 27th video on how to make a browser-based MMORPG. This is Hall of Valhalla. We're going to go ahead and show some coding on the quest system, and this is probably going to get a little hairy, but we'll get through it. It's really not that bad, but it can get a little weird. So anyway, whenever we go to the quest.php, you'll notice if we go to visit quest hall, it'll actually take us to the quest.php, and everything's done pretty much inside that page, other than your quest log, which I've actually added to index, and I just did it to where it did a get variable of quest equals 1. So we'll do that first real quick. We'll go to index, and we'll go down here. What I did basically was just add a line, visit quest hall, and this is basically in your index, and then on the stat panel I added a line, just quest log, which just goes to index and adds that get. And if we scroll up, and once again my mouse is acting goofy, you'll see here, well, right there, quest log. If it's at get quest, and then it runs through and just builds a table and builds the, it just queries the database for quests, and it just select all from current quest where the player info, where the PID equals the name. So that's all it does. It just does a query and checks to see if you have any quests in the actual current quest. Moving on to the quest.php, it pretty much loads up a new page. It does kind of the same thing about checking everything to make sure you're still alive. I did have it add location. It's just the player info 3 location. So it actually starts down here on the bypass. So if bypass, and I'll show that in a second, but if bypass does not equal 1, so in other words, if nothing else ran, bypass still equals 0, this is what we're going to do first. We're going to do a query. We're going to select from quest givers where the location equals the player location and level equals 1, because we're going to select the first level, and we're going to do we want to make sure that it's in the location where the players are at. For every quest giver there's going to be, we're going to put their name in there. And if we want to real quick just kind of see how that works, we can insert a new line. Location is going to be Cocania, levels 1, name, we'll just call him Bart. Oop. On the caps lock, Bart the Barbarian, and then we're going to do the description of give me money, and give quest, we're just going to do just the same thing because I'm just doing an example. Oh, give me money now. And then when you finish the quest, yay, now I won't kill you. Okay. Required item. I'm not going to fill any of this stuff out just because I'm not doing this to actually create a real quest. I'm just kind of giving you guys an idea. So I'm just going to hit go, and it's going to give me some errors, but it should be fine. And now when we go into visit quest hall, you'll now see Bart the Barbarian. Oh, give me money, and you can accept it. So see, there's two ways you can do this, and both work just fine, and you can use both at the same time. You create a quest giver, you give them as many quests as you want. You can even, set it up to where you have certain items to where before you can move on to the next one, or money, or whatever it is. And then you also come in and you can set up as many quest people as you want. Now if you change this to a different town name, he will be removed from here, and he will only be in that town. So kind of gives you an idea. I'm going to go ahead and delete that out of there so that's not in there whenever you guys get the source. You're not like, what's going on with this thing? It's not working because I didn't fill out all that information. Anyway, so let's move on. And then it's just going to say leave. So when you select it, you'll notice giver equals 1. So if we go back up to the top, when giver equals 1, we're going to post that information we sent, and it's going to select from the player quest. And basically what we're doing is we're looking to see if you already have the quest. And if you do not have the quest, if it's not set, if this equals nothing, then the level equals 1 because you want the first level, and the new quest is going to equal 1. Just a variable just saying it is a new quest. So then we're going to select the quest from the quest givers, where the level equals whatever level it's supposed to be, the name and the location. If there's nothing in there, then that's when he says I have no more quests for you at this time, basically, because there's no more quests no more levels of the quest, because your level's going to go up. And as you notice, I only had 2 quests in there. When I complete the last one, it's going to send that variable inside the database of player quest to 3. See how it's 3? So if there's no third quest in there, then that means it's not going to set anything here. So it's just going to say I have no more quests for you. But if there is something in there, then that's when they're going to do the name, and then it's going to do the give quest. It's just going to give whatever you put in give quest, that information. So it's basically spitting out to you. And I'll tell you what we can do. We can delete, oops, player quest. We can delete me out of there to where, what happened there? I can go back in and do these quests, kind of show you. Leave. Where's quest? Oh, Felix. Now I have Felix again. So that's basically what it's doing. It's just posting that out. Then it's going to, you have your accept one, and if the new quest does equal 1, I kind of confused myself on this a little bit on what I was doing, but this is a little bit confusing. This is where you actually go in and you can change. You can actually remove this, or if you don't want it to say complete quest, but for some reason, and I can't remember why, I left that in there, so you may run into that, and maybe if I figure it out later, I'll come back, but it works this way now, so I'm just going to kind of leave it this way for right now. But else, it's just going to pump this out here, and then it's going to do a leave. So oh, that's what it is. It's because it depends on the level of where you're at. You notice the difference here of level 1 or the level of that's where the differentiation. So I wouldn't get rid of this, but you can come in here and put another if do a query to see if they have that quest in the completed quest, current quest, and if there's nothing in there for that player, then make it not show this accepted to where they have to accept it first. That's all you got to do. So anyway, once you've accepted it, it's going to set quest completed, or it's actually going to accept it. Hold on, my bad. It's going to set the variable accept, and if we come down to accept, you'll notice it posts those variables that we just sent. It's going to select all from current quest and make sure there's nothing in there, and if there is something in there, that's when it's going to tell you you've already accepted it. And if there's not anything in there, it's going to insert that quest. If there's a prerequisite item that you get, then that's when it's going to add it to your inventory and tell you that it gave it to you. If not, then there's nothing going to happen there. So then, once you've accepted it, of course, you're going to come. It's going to push you out of the whole quest thing, because now you've got the quest. When you come back, you're going to want to, once you've completed it, or if you have the item to complete it, you're going to hit the quest completed, and that's where it's going to fall into this quest completed right here. And you're going to select all from quest givers. Let's see. Now here's something I added in here, and what I actually didn't add it in, I left it in from another game because I figured it could help you guys out. If you want to have wood or stone or metal or any kind of material item in your game, that's something that like is a material type thing where they want it, you can actually set the required item type to wood, stone, or metal, or whatever you want to put in there, and instead of it pulling out of the items, it'll pull it from wherever that is. And currently I had it set as the player, so underneath the players table in my other game, I had it set to where it would have the lumber, metal, because all it had was wood, stone, and metal, and that was stuff you were collecting, and it was part of the players table, and you'd end up with 100, 200 wood. So here's where you could actually, here's where it, instead of pulling an item, it would pull from the player. So let's say you wanted it to take money. This is where you could also do money. All you'd have to do is come in here and put gold after this. If select is, let's say, or equals gold, you can come in here and do the exact same thing, and then it'll automatically take that gold out right here, whatever you set it as. All you got to do is set it once right here, and put it in the item type. So, and this is where I'm talking about it gets a little hairy. Whatever, let's go to players. So whatever you set, let's say you wanted to take away from gold. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys just so you guys know. Let's just test it out. Let's be goofy and test it out. Let's do ore required item type equals gold. And let's make sure. So it's going to check if your gold is less than, okay, you do not have blah, blah, blah. And then that's where it's going to take it out. So let's give it a try. Let's go into our quest givers and let's change Felix's first quest to, instead of looking for the flute, we're going to make him take, actually this is none. That's one thing I want to mention. If you don't want him to require an item, actually he's going to need to require gold. If you don't want him to require or give you an item, or there will be a pre-item rec, you need to set these to none. Otherwise it's going to say you were given this. So make sure you actually, I need to go back and check to see what the pre-rec item is. Let's do that real quick while we got some time. That would be under accept quest. Oh, that's only if type equals item will it give it to you. So you can leave it blank. But I do know that the way I set it up is if you don't want him to give you, I'm trying to check on this real quick. Okay, yeah, so make sure you do leave this item to none. Otherwise it'll give you this for a reward. It will give, at the end of your quest, it will give you, it'll say just blank and nothing. So make sure on this item you select none. Anyway, so let's do gold here, and that's actually the required type. So let's do 20. Let's go. So let's see. I'm going to refresh this. And I have 134 gold, so let's accept it. Let's check our quest log. And of course we didn't change that, but let's complete the quest. 20 gold removed from inventory, blah blah blah, finish. It gave me 20 gold for some reason. It gave me 30 gold. So let's look to see what we did there. If equals type minus required amount. It said minus. How in the world did that happen? Oh, that's why. I'm an idiot. It gave us back that gold because of the because we completed the quest. It gave us back the gold. So yeah, it gave us 50. If you notice that the quest, the actual, we told it to take 20, but it gives us 50 for completing the quest. So that was the 30 left over. So it does work. In other words, it is working. I just didn't realize the bonus right here that it gives you. But I'm going to change this back to required item is a flute and item. So make sure you set that to item whenever it's an item. Required amount 1. Go. Okay. So now with that out of the way, so if it is, it's going to, and here's where it just goes query crazy. You're going to give the person that material or wood or gold or whatever it is. You're going to delete from the current quest because it's no longer a current quest, but you're going to insert into player quest that you've completed that quest. And you're going to add the level 2 saying that you've now completed level 1 and you're on level 2. And then you're going to update player quest, set the level +1, or else, I'm sorry. This is where it's going to set it to 2, but if it's not, that's if it's a new quest. If it's not, then it's going to do your quest +1. And it's going to give you your reward, your experience, and your gold. If there's an item in there, it's going to give you that item. Pretty simple. Now, if the required type is set to item, then it's going to actually give you the item. It's going to select from inventory. And if you notice in the database, man, why do I keep doing that? Yeah. I added an items table, and what this is this is something I'm going to get into later. We're actually going to build the items in here and then use them to go in. That way an item stays static, and every item's the same across the board. But I just added in the flute there so it could give you back the flute. But that's what it's doing. It's pulling it from the items. And then all it's doing from here, this video is going really long, so I'm fixing to stop it. But you can read through this, and pretty much it's all self-explanatory. All it's doing is it's pulling, it's taking away anything that it's supposed to take away. And if you notice, if it requires two, let's say 2 flutes, it's going to go do a for loop to say, okay, it needs to grab 2 because the required amount is 2, and it's going to delete those from your inventory, and then it's just going to update everything. That's all we're doing through that. So it's real simple code, but it's kind of got a complicated back end a little bit, but overall it's not too bad, and everything can be managed from the database.